We all know the stories about the mass graves in Canada and the alleged sites where Indigenous children were buried near residential schools of Catholic schools. And we all know about the outrage that happened and the hysteria that happened over these alleged allegations. Now, at this point, some people might already be saying, why are you saying alleged? This is a fact. It's been proven, when in fact, it's not a fact. And the reason we're using the word alleged is because, well, long story short, 2 years later, after this whole thing came to light, now they have done deep excavations into many of these underground sites and have turned up nothing. And they realize that this all might be false. So after all the anti-Catholic hatred, vitriol, and hysteria worldwide, and demanding that the Pope apologize for what happened, now we're realizing that this might just be false. Someone even used the word hoax. Now, even a year ago, news reports were saying that nothing had been found yet, and nothing had been discovered. There was no actual proof of these grave sites, meaning they didn't find a single person who was supposedly buried down in these grave sites. So many people are wondering, okay, well then, why did they make up the stories in the first place? Where did the stories come from? Wasn't there evidence of this? Well, back in May of 2021, there was a group of Indigenous people in Canada who were doing testing at these sites with ground-penetrating radar. And they discovered what they said were to be graves of about 215 children. And so reports started to spread about these mass graves. And other ones at other sites said, oh, there might be more, possibly up to 700 or 1,000. And so the news media started to spread this like wildfire, ignoring the fact that these same Indigenous people who were doing the research said that it wasn't confirmed, that it could be anomalies in the soil, that we would actually have to do deep excavations to go verify this and to figure out if it's actually true or not, because the evidence seems like it might be, but it might not be. And they specifically said it could not be true. It could be an anomaly. It could be something else in the soil. And so we have to double check it before we start advertising that this is true. But did the media listen to that? No, they ran with it. And of course, like media, we have to be the first ones out there. We got to make it sound juicy. And so worldwide hysteria ensued. And even people like the New York Post were saying that mass graves were found. And the New York Times likewise said that 1,000 kids in Canada were killed or were found in these mass graves. And other people were saying that the Catholic Church was systematically killing Indigenous people. And this was proof of it. I mean, how far people went and how far the conspiracy theories went without any proof is literally mind-boggling. Now, a year later, from May 2021, people were still saying we haven't found any graves yet. Now, recently, very recently, 2023, deep excavations have been done at many of these grave sites, and the total number of bodies that were found were 0. You heard me right, were 0. Nada. Zilch. None. No bodies were found at any grave site so far. In fact, it was a group of Indigenous people who did these excavations right under Our Lady of Sorrows Catholic Church, right near the Pine Creek residential schools. And in all of the 14 different sites that they excavated personally, they found nothing. Nada. Not a single body. No evidence of mass graves or anything like it. No evidence of anything whatsoever. Even the head of this group, Derek Piniak, came out publicly on record and said there was no proof of mass graves or children or anything else whatsoever. So why has there been such hysteria? Why has there been such outrage? Why have so many people said the most atrocious things against the Catholic Church, as if the Catholic Church did this? I mean, at best it would prove that some schools in Canada maybe did this, but the Catholic Church at large, did not do this. And there has been a 260% increase in hate crimes against the Catholic Church, especially in Canada. And churches were burned to the ground, priests and nuns were seized and abused, and many bad things happened. So maybe it's the Catholic Church that's being abused and not the other way around. I mean, why is this story being perpetrated when the people in the first place said there's no guarantee, we don't know, we need to look further, and the media just blew it out of proportion and everybody went crazy without looking at the facts. And yet some people, even up in academia, really prestigious people, lost their jobs for saying there's no evidence of this. We're going based on zero evidence. And they were released from their jobs just for speaking the truth. And history ensued nonetheless. Now, there are other grave sites, and maybe there might be some evidence or some graves at these other sites that have not been excavated yet. But as of right now, there is zero evidence for all of this, meaning that all the tests that were done have come back negative, meaning no evidence whatsoever. So this all seems very dubious to me. It seems very sketchy to me that people are spreading such hate based on minimal evidence that the people themselves who did the research said that needed to be confirmed. That's important. They themselves said it needed to be confirmed. Nobody waited, and they just spread all this anti-Catholic hatred without it. Now, there have been indigenous people who have been interviewed at these schools, and some say that they were assimilated, and some say they weren't allowed to see their families and they had bad experiences, where others said, I have no idea what those people are talking about or why they're even saying that, because all of our experiences with the Catholic Church, with priests and nuns, has all been incredibly positive and beautiful. So, I mean, until we find out more and excavate all the sites, as of right now, there are zero bodies, zero proof, and zero evidence. That's really sketchy to me, and that's really sad. And I think until we find out more, we're never going to know for sure. But as of right now, you can't go around saying there's mass graves because there's zero evidence of it. Thank you for watching this video. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we pray that you will share this with as many people as humanly possible so that we can get the truth out there. Sometimes people just spread things because they want ratings or likes or views, or because they want to get out there first, or there's 1,000 reasons why people spread things, even things that aren't true. So help us to undo some of these things. And if you like this video and you like our content, please subscribe to our channel, and like this video, please comment. We'd love to know what you think. If you've heard anything else, if you've heard any updates on this as well. And it's sad because if you look up all of these recent findings, you'll never find them because they're so buried behind the thousands and thousands of articles out there of outrage and anger and hatred toward the church and about all of this, that you're never going to find the ones that are saying, hey, it actually might not be true. So please feel free to share this with as many people as you can on as many platforms as you can, and please get this truth out there. If you like what we do, please consider supporting our ministry on PayPal or Patreon below. And if you would like some daily inspiration, please follow us on Facebook, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, or any of our other social media platforms. God bless you.